Hey guys, what's going on? This week I thought I would bring a little bit different of a video to you than what I usually have, and do a little walk around on the Jeep, basically giving you an update on where it stands today, what needs to be done, and what I'd like to do, future plans, etc. So, hey Brock, my dog. Anyways, I thought I'd bring to you what I plan to do with it in the future. So with that said, let's get into it. All right, so I threw this Cal hood, or Cal on the hood, a few weeks back to go on a little bit of a wheeling trip. We go up to the mountains every year and get Christmas trees. And I didn't want the alternator and everything exposed because it was supposed to rain the whole time. So I threw this together in like 20, 30 minutes. And it is not where it needs to be by any means. When I initially made it, it has the bends that I want it to have and everything. It has the looks that I want, other than what I would like to have is back here, it needs to be longer because I would like it to follow the same angle as the windshield. So my goal is to have it come to the end of the hood and then angle back the same angle of that windshield, which is pretty common for Cal hoods. And then I wanted a squared off look because the Jeep is squared off. So I got to make a new one, however, for two reasons. One, because this would need to come off anyways because it has to have a curve put into it. The other being that it's too heavy in material, and I'll show you real quick. So before, if I popped my hood, it popped right up on its own because there is springs underneath these latches. Now I have to assist it a little bit, and then those springs will hold it up. But it's just too heavy. It's 16 gauge steel, and I did that because I wanted a little bit of rigidity in it without adding any other material. But the reality is I'm gonna have to do something different. So with that said, I bought some 18 gauge. I'm gonna remake it, but the other problem is it rubs on the alternator right here. And you can see where it's rubbing right there. So I'm going to remake it, and I think I'm going to do one of two things. I'm either going to keep it the way it is because I do like the way it looks. I think it looks pretty good. You know, if it was finished and done well, because it's clearly not. But I'm either going to keep the same just 45-degree angle here, or I might do two 25-degree angles. But regardless, it has to come up taller, probably like a ½ inch, which really don't want it to be a ½ inch taller. You definitely, when you're sitting in the seat, you see it. So when you're looking down over here on the passenger side in front of the vehicle, it is there, you can see it. So it does affect my vision, if you will. Nothing tremendous, but when you're trying to rock crawl and stuff, it's important to have as much visual as you can. But anyways, that's my plans with that. That'll probably be a video coming up here soon, honestly. And then we haven't really done much of anything with the wiring. I'll show you. So I threw this all together. The last video you'll see, I threw everything together, and all I did was taking the initial wiring and threw some tape on it and put it together. And any ends that were live or anything, I taped them off. But that's still the way it is today, which is garbage, let's face it. It's not the way it should be. So that's gonna be redone. That'll be here in the near future, but I've been having random issues with it where the idle's kind of all over the place, and sometimes it'll run kind of rich. I mean, don't get me wrong, it runs pretty well. It's got power, definitely more power than what the 4.0 had. It's a night and day difference. But the idle will fluctuate. So it'll idle around 750, 800. And then all of a sudden it'll just idle up to 12, 13, 1400, or sorry, yeah, and then when it does that, like say if I'm rock climbing, because I'm low enough geared, it'll just start pushing me through an obstacle, and I'll have to put my foot into the floor to get it to stop. So it's dangerous, to say the least. So I got to get that figured out. And thus far, I've just been chasing my tail. I have proper fuel pressure. I had to put in a new fuel pump way back when I first got it started or running, and a fuel pressure regulator. So like if I check the fuel pressure, it's consistent. I think it's at 59 or 60. Then you rev it up, it goes up like 1 degree, but it stays right there. Like it doesn't really fluctuate very much. So it's got really good fuel pressure, consistent fuel pressure. And then I've checked all kinds of different sensors. I just put a new mass airflow sensor in because it was actually pulling a code for the mass airflow sensor. It made no difference. It's not pulling a code for it anymore, but it keeps pulling codes for random things. So I think it's the Chinese wiring harness that we put in. So with that said, I am probably just going to purchase a new harness, and I'm probably going to go with a name brand and get rid of this Chinese harness. I actually just talked to a guy the other day that did an LS swap around the same time I did. He said his went off without a hitch, no issues. He said that, however, they're also doing an LS swap to his dad's Blazer, and he said that he's facing similar issues. Like they just have these ghost issues that they can't seem to figure out, that it just doesn't want to run right. And that they're kind of coming to the same diagnosis, that it's probably the harness, because this ran fine in the Suburban that it came out of, and the same thing for him. The vehicle that it came out of ran fine. So, not just fine, like this was a fully operational running, driving vehicle. So anyways, hopefully that's where the issue comes in. I wasn't really a fan of the harness anyways. Like it was for the money, it was worth it, I think, if it worked right. But I do know, and I think I might have shared this in some of the videos, but when mostly at the ECM level, like when you were hooking up the wires, like they kept wanting to press out, the clip would kind of back off, and then it would push pins out. So I tried to make sure that, and as far as I am aware, right now, everything is connected well, but you know, maybe it's not. Maybe that's where my issue falls into play. I don't want to deal with it, to be perfectly frank. I could probably go through and I could probably take each pin out and make sure that it wouldn't get pushed out, make sure that pin stay or a clip stayed in place. But to me, it's a quality thing, and if I knew that the issue was no longer going to exist, then I'd probably be fine with it. But I don't know that, and I don't want to deal with it. So probably what I'm going to do is at some point, this LS is going to come back out, and I'm going to completely redo the factory wiring the rest of the way, get rid of anything I don't need, and then I'm going to redo the factory wiring as well. Sorry, not the factory wiring, but the LS wiring. And then you may be able to see it, but right down in here is a tube that I put in for the lower radiator hose, because this is a $500 radiator, Mishimoto radiator, that I had bought for the 4.0 that was in here. And I just didn't feel like spending another $500, $600, $700 for another radiator. So I just had that crossover tube down there. When I do all this, or maybe before then, I am going to take that radiator back out, and I'm going to put a port on this side, cap the port on that side, or sorry, so I'm going to put a port on this side, on the lower side, and I'm going to cap the port on this side, and then I'll put a plate in here which will make it a cross flow radiator. So basically the fluid will come in the upper hose, have to go through the radiator like this, and come back out the lower hose. So right now it all kind of comes in and just drafts through the whole thing and then comes out on the bottom side. So that should, cross flows are supposed to cool better anyways. Not that I have any heating issues with this. It's actually been amazing. Doesn't even get warm. I love it. I am a firm believer now that the best way the best way to limit a Jeep Cherokee's heating issues is to get rid of the 4.0, and I know there's going to be plenty of people that hate that opinion and think I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't really care, to be honest. It's the best of both worlds. Way more power. It is lighter, and no heating issues whatsoever. I mean, it literally holds, like, it might get up to 190, but otherwise it literally holds 185. And it only gets up to 190 periodically under extreme conditions. So yeah. So that's that. I don't know what else I have planned there, but in the engine bay portion, that's pretty much that. The only thing that I might do is you can buy like a Holley kit where it actually comes with the intake and everything, and the wiring harness and the standalone computer, and I may do that, but I don't really want to spend that kind of money. I don't need that kind of money. This is not intended to be a powerhouse. This was just intended to, you know, solve some of my issues and make it a little cooler, a little funner, and it's definitely achieved that. So anyways, moving on. All right, when we initially tubbed these fenders, we took, if I recall correctly, 3.5 to 4 inches out of the back here. And that's good. This 40-inch tire will fit up in here tight, and it won't rub on this because I have bump stops that won't allow it to, but it will get close. That said, however, plans have changed for this Jeep. And I know that I've changed my mind. I change my mind all the time, honestly. And I wish I didn't sometimes, but I do. So I got some Dana 60s for that S10 that I've shown you in earlier videos. And those Dana 60s are now going to go under this Jeep. The reason for that is really what I wanted to do is I want to put Dana 60s under both. But I have these axles that I have a lot of money wrapped up into, and I'm never going to get the money out of them. And to build Dana 60s, everything is substantially more. So, I mean, just for the S10, I want air lockers or electric lockers. I do not want it to be full-time four-wheel drive for multiple reasons. One, I plan on it being a vehicle I can drive down the road every day, daily driver, if you will. So I don't want it locked up. Two, I lost my train of thought. Two, these axles are already built, minus I don't have an air locker in the rear, and I can change that. It has a Detroit locker now. Maybe what I'll do is I might just get me a 4.9-inch and then try to sell this axle for some money if I can. You know, it already has chromoly axles and everything and C-clip eliminators. It's an 8.8. I would really rather keep it, but if I end up in a situation where I'm going to completely re-go through it anyways and change stuff and spend a bunch of money, maybe I'll just get another axle altogether. But the front axle for sure is going to stay the way it is. And then this is going to get the Dana 60s, and it's just going to get locked up. This is going to become a full-time wheeler, rock climber. Might take it snow wheeling sometimes, but it has been a trailer queen, and it's going to continue to be a trailer queen. I'm just kind of giving up on the idea of it being a roadworthy vehicle, because there's not really a point in it being a roadworthy vehicle. So with that said, I'm probably going to end up tubbing it more, but I hate when people cut this all out. I'm probably going to just follow that curve and bring it up, you know, to about there or so, and then bring this taper all the way to the point of the fuel tank. And I may get rid of that fuel door and then add a fuel door over here further too. I don't know. Depends on how ambitious I feel. Haven't even thought much about that yet. But what I do know is that I'm going to put this thing on 43s, maybe 44s. I don't know yet. Maybe bigger. I don't know yet for sure, but at least 43s. And I want this tire to be able to go all the way up in there without rubbing stuff. So we'll be making that change. We'll also have to push the axle back further. So with my plasma table, I'm hoping maybe I'll make the fuel tank, but if not, you can buy them where they actually have a cutout in the tank for the pumpkin. And that's probably what I'll do if I need to, because the tire only needs to be pushed back, as far as I'm concerned, enough to where it clears this front cutout portion, even if it's only by a half an inch or an inch. So we'll just push the axle back far enough to counteract that. Like right now, I could push my axle back a little bit more, but it's back far enough that I don't have to do that. Next thing that I hope to do is maybe get a little bit better rear approach, or not approach it, but a departure angle. So by coming back, you know, let's say 2 more inches and then going 43s, it's gonna make it, it's not gonna be to where my tire's right at the back of the Cherokee, but it's gonna be pretty close. So, I mean, we're pretty close right now. We're probably about a foot. So probably make it, you know, all said and done, maybe 5-6 inches further. So we've got, you know, basically the back of the Jeep is sticking out 4 or 5 inches, sorry, 5-6 inches, sorry, 6-7 inches mass hard further than what it needs to. So at the end of the day, again, our departure angle will be better. Next thing I'm gonna do, which I'm probably gonna get on this sooner, but I'm gonna build me a rear bumper, which I need to. I've already contacted this door once and I've almost contacted it again, but there's a few inches between this material and the tank, probably about a good 3-4 inches. So I'm gonna put a plate in there between the frame to attach the tank straps to. And then, or maybe I'll build or buy me another tank now that I don't have to worry about that and I can just attach it to the frame or something. Haven't decided. But what I have decided is I'm gonna cut this out so I can get a winch back here. And by doing so, I can make it to where that winch is pretty much flush with the door instead of sticking out here like this. Because I do want a rear mounted winch. So I'm gonna get, that's probably something I'm gonna work on fairly soon. Once I get my plasma table up and running, we're gonna build the whole bumper. And at one point in time, I was gonna build aluminum bumpers, and I had told everybody that. I'm not gonna do that anymore. With this being gonna become a rock crawler, I don't think it's a good idea to build aluminum bumpers, because aluminum's just not gonna hold up. Even though what I got was 3/8 material, it's just not gonna hold up to getting thrashed on the rocks. So that'll be something that'll be happening soon. Another thing that'll be happening is I already have the kit. I'll be doing dual exhaust, but I'm waiting because what I wanna do is, I'll tuck you under here, put you right here. What I plan on doing is cutting this whole shackle out completely. I'll probably reinforce the frame if I have to, but I wanna run the exhaust on the outside of the frame all the way back and right through here, I'll have holes cut in the bumper to where it X's through the bumper that I built. But that way, we have exhaust that's up out of the way, and we can do that all along the frame. It'll just come all along here, 2.5 inch on both sides. It'll get it out of my way, and then what I'll do is I'll probably boat side the side to protect the exhaust. And when I 4-link the rear, my intentions are at this point to use airbags. So the exhaust would be completely out of the way, because the exhaust would literally follow the frame all the way back. Mostly I just want to do that because I think it's cool. And then, so right now I have all the links, all the Heim joints, brackets I'm gonna make myself with my plasma table. I already actually kind of designed them up. I just need the, I need a couple more weeks to finally get my plasma table up and running. But once I get that, and once I get ready to do the Dana 60s, that's when the rear will get 4-linked. So, and then the front end here, because I'll do it at the same time. I don't know if I'll 4-link the front end right off the bat, but I do intend on at least 3-linking it, if not 4-linking it. I'll probably 3-link it, to be honest, because then that way I can just put one rod down the side, or one link, sorry, down the side on the passenger side, and just not have any driveline interference or have to worry about it at all. And then otherwise it fairly will remain the same. But I have a 6.5 inch lift, rough country long arm lift that will be up for sale after that, you know, for a bargain. I've definitely abused it, but I'm not gonna try to make a bunch of money off of it. And then the front, it may go air shocks for now. I already have Fox air shocks on there, but it just depends on finances. But what I'd like to do is ORIs or coilovers, mostly just like, I would like ORIs for packaging purposes. That way you're only trying to put one thing in there. But yeah, that's, for now, that's pretty much the plans for the Jeeps guy. For now, that is pretty much the plan for the Jeep guys. Oh, well, and I guess a front bumper. I am gonna build an actual front bumper for it that'll protect things. I don't like my stuff looking like crap. I kind of hate the way this Jeep looks right now, the multicolored, and then, you know, that big old dent right there. Well, that reminds me, one other thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add a bar that comes up here and tapers out a little bit here at the back. That way it pushes me out. Probably do that around the same time as the boat sides. And then this thing is gonna get, the whole thing is gonna get Raptor lined black. So once I get those body things done, once I get the cowl hood done, once I get the fenders trimmed the way I want, and stuff like that, I doubt I will, it'll probably get painted before I trim the fenders more, or, but I just don't want to paint it and then turn around and do a bunch of welding to it. So anyways, guys, that's pretty much that. Like I said, just thought I would give you a little bit of an update, let you know what's going on with the Jeep, kind of let you know what was going on with me in a recent video. So if you do have any needs, if you need somebody to fabricate something for you, cut something out on a plasma table, I do plan on selling links and brackets. I'm going to design up some different hood vents for the Jeep Cherokees, and maybe for other stuff, maybe for my S10, we'll see. And once I design that stuff up, I'll have it. So, you know, and I can easily make adaptations. So, yeah. Oh, I guess one last thing, roll cage. That would be the final thing for the Jeep, and then some interior work as well. But nothing fancy, nothing that I doubt much of you care too much about the interior. That is, I'm sure some people care about the roll cage, but I do plan on getting to all this here pretty soon. Just trying to get some stuff wrapped up for my business that I started. Really been trying to get my plasma table up and going. I've been trying to get my shop just kind of in place. It's my wife's Escalade. Just trying to do a little bit of service work to it, and then it's got a random issue right now, which I think I've got figured out, but need to get that fixed. But yeah, so once I get everything up to par, I plan on putting out a lot more content regularly again. Right now I'm trying to make sure I do at least one video a week, but beyond that, I haven't been sticking with it too great, doing updates, that is. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching as always. I hope that you at least enjoyed part of this video, and please stick around. You know, I think we got some exciting stuff going on in the future. I think the S10 is going to be a pretty good build once we get some work done there. Once I get the parts collected for the Jeep, I'll get going on it. You know, again, there's going to be things we're doing like the hood scoop, but rear bumper, but until I get all the parts to put gears in the axles and new wheels and tires, at least wheels, we could use these tires if we had to, but until I get to that point, I'm kind of at a standstill with any of the big projects. So I'll keep working at it, and you guys keep watching and you'll get to see it. All right, guys, thanks again. Don't forget to like and subscribe.